I want to, let me just first start by thanking everyone for covering this, as you do every year, covering this summer safety meeting that we have here in the Boston Police Department. We just spent an hour and a half going over statistics and numbers of how do we get ahead of the violence in the city of Boston. We've had, the numbers have been relatively on a decline over the last several years, and we're in this period of decline again this year. And one of the things that we thought was surprising, that we're finding the number of victims is getting older in the city of Boston. We focus generally on youth and youth violence. We focus on teenagers. But when we look at over the last several years of the age of the victims of violence in the city of Boston, the number has gone from average age of 25 in 2013 to almost 30 years old in 2018. And we had a long, lengthy discussion about reaching out to that targeted population and how can we create better services to increase there. We're going to come back with a plan, working with the Boston Police Department, working with the District Attorney's Office, working with the clergy and other elected officials that are with us today, Health and Human Services, to really dive into it. I'm going to turn the microphone over to the Commissioner, who's going to talk a little bit about the meeting and about some of the strategy. We'll turn over to the District Attorney after that, and then we'll open up for questions. I also want to thank City Council Anisha Sabi-George, who's with us today, City Council Althea Garrison with us today, and we were joined earlier by the President of City Council, Andrea Campbell, who's also here today to sit in on our meeting with other city staff. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to the Commissioner.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, everyone. So every year around this time, before the summer months, the mayor kind of puts us to the task to come up with some summer strategies and initiatives to ensure that we have the safest summer possible. So the meeting you see here today is all about the people that you see here to the left, to the right, and behind me. This is a collaborative, folks. So the onus isn't solely on the police department, on the Boston Public Health Commission, the clergy, or the DA. It's about all of us working together. So quite frankly, the meeting we had today, we talked about some of the programs that we have in place that are successful as pertains to the youth, to prevent senseless youth violence, to provide job opportunities, and to bring the community together as a whole. Whether it's peace walks with the clergy, youth police dialogue, dialogues with the DA, and folks here, especially our city councilors, to see what's happening out in the city and how we can work together and again make this the safest summer possible. We've also identified an age range from like 25 to 30 plus. We're going to have to find programs and services for these individuals as well. And again, this is the reason we're having these meetings, where your input is expected and your input is welcome, so we can move forward again and come up with strategies and initiatives to make sure that we're the safest that we can be. Next, I'll turn it over to District Attorney Rollins.
Thank you, Commissioner and Mayor. Really excited about the meeting today, having just returned and been with approximately 20 or 30 other district attorneys from around the United States. This is unique. We are lucky to have a mayor, a commissioner, and a district attorney that speak to each other often, that show up at the same events. I've seen our mayor, unfortunately, at homicide scenes, but he shows up there. The commissioner is there. We are actively involved. We want the community to know that we are working. This is our job to solve crime, not yours, but we do need your help in this process. So I'm excited about collaborating and continuing to collaborate with the mayor and the commissioner and all of the other electeds, members of clergy, and the nonprofit world here. Thank you.
Any questions for anybody? All right. Yes.
What if you could comment on the last summer, of course, around the same time, there was a shooting in the form of Robert Heath developments. Just wondering what the situation is like right now in the various housing developments.
Well, we had actually representatives of Bromley Heath, the tenants task force there today. We work very closely with the different tenants task force in all of our housing authorities. That was a situation where two individuals were shot. Random shooting, somebody walking by, driving by, shot into a courtyard, killed two people, two innocent people. We spent a lot of time after that focusing on creating opportunities for employment for people. We were able to get about 16 people from the Bromley Heath development a job last summer and work with them. So what we're trying to do this year is stay ahead of that. We work with our tenant task force. We work with the different organizations, work with the Boston Housing Authority, really to make sure that we have safe spaces for our young people in there.
If I can follow up real quickly, there was also emphasis of late on nightlife in Boston in the aftermath of 3 unfortunate incidents involving downtown Boston. Could you comment on what precautions are being taken in the context of the entertainment district of Boston? Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up. So we initially had a meeting at Local 7, the Iron Workers, where we had a meeting with all of the licensed premise owners and City Hall and BPD. As a result of that meeting, we arranged for a committee. The committee met recently, and what we're coming up with, pretty much, folks, is a guidebook, protocol for responses to what happens in a licensed premises. Anything from unruly customers to possible kidnappings. Quite frankly, how can we work together to prevent the tragedies that we've encountered in the last 7 months, especially with our young women? So pretty soon you will see the collaborative efforts of those meetings that we've had with this committee. How to communicate with the police. Are we utilizing the best technology that we can have in the 21st century? Licensed readers, surveillance, all the while making sure that whatever we utilize is not too intrusive on someone's personal rights and privacy. But again, this is for across the city, not just downtown or the South End. We want to send a clear-cut message to those predators and those hunters that not on our watch. So therefore, you have the City of Boston, you have BPD and the licensed premises owners and the patrons working together to ensure that, again, we're going to have the safest environment that we can for folks that want to champion the nightlife.
How are the summer strategies different from what you typically do in the course of the year?
So, quite frankly, in the wintertime, sometimes the crime is lower because more people are in the house. Summer strategy, you have more people out, more people visiting the city. So if you go on past statistics, there is an uptick in violence in the summertime. So why be reactionary? We're saying be proactive. We know the history. So we're willing to step up, go forward, work with the community, the mayor and his many cabinets, the city councilors, the private sector, the district attorney, and the clergy to get ahead of any potential problems. So we're just anticipating that there may be problems, but we want to have solutions in place to address those problems.
What are specifics? What are specifics to that?
I didn't hear you.
What are specifics?
Come on up like you like me.
Oh, all right, but what are specifics of the solutions you have or your strategies for this summer? Can you give
So, yeah, some of the specifics, quite frankly, we'll start with the youth, right? We have programs in place. The mayor helps provide for over up to 10,000 jobs a year for youth, and that's with the private sector. You'll see each and every one of our city councilors out addressing and working with the BPD, the Boston Public Health Commission, and Boston Center for Youth and Families to have our programs and initiatives like Teen Police Academy, Citizens Police Academy, National Night Out, and you have peace walks. And Operation Exit definitely is one of the best plans that we have out there, because what if you did have issues in the past and you've had challenges and you think, hey, there's nothing for me. So the mayor works with us and the communities in identifying individuals that are kind of driving the numbers that are high risk, and we introduce them into the union trade apprenticeships, just a change of lifestyle. If you show people that there's a different way, then hopefully they'll meet you halfway, and that goes a long way towards having a safe summer.
Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you, folks. Can I speak one inside?
All right, this is the last one. Make it quick, Travis.
Commissioner, are there any particular hot spots where the department plans to deploy any extra resources, be it walking beats, plain clothes, anything like that this summer?
Sure, so we have 11 district captains, and you know, some of our areas that have the most challenges are Roxbury, Mattapan, Dorchester, South End, and Jamaica Plain, Mission Hill. Trust me, folks, it's only 1.5% to 2% that are actually driving the numbers to the negative. So we will deploy accordingly. Every Wednesday we have a deployment meeting, so we don't wait for things to happen. Every week we have a deployment meeting where we go over what's happened for that week. And we work with the district captains, and Superintendent Ridge, who's in charge of the Bureau of Field Services, deploys accordingly. So we will work with everyone you see here for our summer safety strategy to deploy accordingly to where we're needed.